So we all love mangoes, and we've been eating them all mango season, and now mango season's over. Fortunately, we cut up some mangoes and froze them for the time that we didn't have fresh mangoes. And unfortunately, Hurricane Irma came through and knocked out our power, so these mangoes were no longer frozen, but still cold. I don't like to refreeze them. They, they're good at this stage. If you're just thaw them, leave them in the refrigerator and eat them, they'll last about a week without developing off flavors. But I found with refreezing mangoes, sometimes they actually change color a little bit. So anyway, this is our opportunity to do one of our favorite things with mangoes, and that's dehydrating. So we're using these mangoes that are still cold but not still frozen, and we'll show you some of our favorite things to do in the land of dehydration. So we're just going to puree some of this mango. I think I'll put this down so I don't have to slop all over everything. Looks so good. Yeah, sometimes these leak, so when you're defrosting, just put it in a 13x9 or something like that so you don't have another mess to clean up. Okay, blenders always work better with tops on. So we'll just start out putting it in a bowl. Doesn't that look wonderful? I like eating puree just like this. Try it with fresh mangoes, different varieties taste different, and mixtures taste great. Different mixtures of different varieties of mangoes. So we'll load up one of these trays with just plain mango puree. That's magic. So I tend to use about 4 scoops. It's an easy way to measure. It's just using a ladle, and it's a regular size ladle, and 4 scoops will do it. And then I just use the bottom of the ladle to spread it around evenly. Get the edges first, and corners, and then try to, and you can run this all the way to the sides with this kind of non-stick sheet, but I don't like to wash that much, so I try and make it easier for later on. Okay, so there we go. And it'll settle down a little bit when it's dehydrating, so these bumps will cease to exist. So that's our regular mango. And bring our bowl back. We're going to put some lemon zest in. For this particular batch, it makes a great dried product too. Let's get the rest of this lemon in there. The zest, of course. We just got partway through on that project, and there are some big lemon zest and mango lovers in this family, so we'll get enough zest to please everybody. Okay, we're just stirring in the zest instead of putting the mango and the zest in the blender. That should work out fine. There's one, and a 2, 3, and 4. If you fill up all the trays fairly evenly, then they'll be done about the same time. So it's a nice little feature when you're dehydrating a bunch of stuff. Let's get a little bit more over into the corners, and we will call that done. Okay, oops. So, get our next bag going. Whoa. This one's still a little bit frozen. Plop, plop. I think I'll save some of this for the next go round. It's getting a little full there. Doesn't that look delicious? It's like the best halfway melted mango sorbet ever. What are we adding? Washed. It says washed ginger. We're just gonna put this right into the blender, skin and all. I think that might be enough. Okay, let's grind up the ginger. Okay, I'm just going to go directly from the blender onto the tray because I have another plan for the rest of the blender. So there's a 1, 2, 3, and 4. Do a little. Plop this in. And we're going to add cinnamon to this next batch. I think that's a 1.5 teaspoons. And we'll just go on low here. Okay. Looks done to me. Next tray. There's one. Ginger and cinnamon's a great combination also. So all sorts of things that you can do with dehydrating mango. It's a little bit thicker than the other ones because of the ginger. And in it goes. So we're going to add some hemp hearts to this. Will definitely soak up some of the liquid. It also makes it sort of almost a cracker-like product. It's not as chewy as just plain dehydrated mango. Goodness, make it work for this one. There we go, yay! Add some more in there. So I'm just putting some hemp hearts in. You can use a lot of things. We've used puffed rice before. Sometimes we've used puffed chia seeds. It's just lots of things you can add. Of course, you can use pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. That's always lovely. And you know, you're not restricted to just one thing in each batch. You can add seeds and flax. Just really go crazy. Plop, 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 plop. There we go. Okay, so we'll call that done. Okay, so here's our last go round. So we have all 9 trays filled up that fit in here. I've got, I think 4 of them are pure mango. Then we have 2 of them mango with lemon zest, and we have the rest are with some spices and other things. So we'll see how they all turn out. But our next step is to turn on the dehydrator to 105 degrees so it can do its job. So It's time to check on the dehydration project and cut them up, hopefully. This is looks like a lovely piece, but it's let's see. Yep, I think this one's going to be fine. Okay. So what we do here is just roll this up, and this makes like the best fruit leather ever. So I usually trim off the ends, and those are little tasting samples for me and anyone around me. And just cut this up into sort of equal sizes, and then you just stack them up, stack and wrap. Put them over on our plastic wrap. Very space efficient way to store mangoes, and they're ready to use. So let's see, there we go. Here's one of our with hemp hearts. So this is going to be not a rolling up situation, but just cutting squares or rectangles or whatever shapes you want to cut. And sort of just more like a cracker. Let's see what else we have here. Well, that's the other one, the other hemp heart. Looks like it has some cinnamon in it here. We'll give it a little bit more time in the dryer. This one is definitely ready to roll. Well, actually, in that case, that's just an expression. This one feels a little sticky still too, so I'll just turn it over and dehydrate that a little bit more. That one's all finished. I know it's a little bit sticky. I'll send it through as long as it's got company in the dehydrator. And that one's definitely done. So when these three need a little bit more time in the dehydrator. So what I like to do is to spread it out a little bit, get better airflow instead of putting them in all three in the middle. Just put a little extra space in between. So the middle one's in the middle, and then I skip a space and then put one above it, and skip a space and put one below it. So I've got a few more to cut up here. see if we can figure out what kind this is. Eat so many different variations. That one's good. They're all good. This one tastes lemony. So we had lemon zest in this one. What I'm using to cut is a ulu, which is what we used to call Eskimo knife, but it's actually Inuit, and it is sort of an all-purpose knife. But for me, this is its main purpose is cutting up dehydrated stuff, and I like that because I can actually put a force directly down on the food, on the dehydrated products. So here we go. So this is our lemon zest and mango. Now sometimes when I do the dehydrated fruit, I add a little vitamin C to preserve the freshness and color a little bit. And also vitamin C is not so bad for you. This time, I did not do that. Cut this one up next. Make them all the same size this time. What the heck? Well, sort of. Okay. This time we're going to put them in a little sandwich bag. And it's nice if you can squeeze out all the air if you're using a bag. It helps things stay at their maximum freshness. So we're done with what was ready to be cut up right now. I'll probably put these things in a plastic container like that or in a bigger bag. And these three get to spend a little more time in the dehydrator. So here's our dehydration project. We have 3 trays that need to have a little more time in the dehydrator. But we have hemp hearts with cinnamon in 2 different concentrations, and we have mango with ginger, mango cinnamon and ginger, and mango with lemon zest and plain mango. All of them are great. Dehydrating is a great way to preserve mangoes, well, any fruit, but in this situation mangoes. A lot of times people don't know what to do with all the mangoes their tree has produced. So consider dehydrating. Freezing mangoes is great too, but as we found out with Hurricane Irma, sometimes the freezing part doesn't last as long as you want. But with dehydrating things, it doesn't matter whether it's refrigerated or frozen or what, it will stay good for pretty much all season long. Adding vitamin C to the mixture will help extend the color life and also preserve a little bit more of the flavor. Often what we do is try to prepare a lot of dehydrated product for our own consumption throughout the year. and it doesn't last that long. It's very popular. It concentrates the flavor of the mango, and whatever you put with it, it's a great snack. You can carry those in car trips with kids, and it's not going to make a big mess, and they're going to love it. That stuff that you buy at the store, it's not pure. This is really pure. This is 100% mango. This is 100% mango and mangoes and lemon zest. These are pure things. You know what you're eating because you've made it. And, you can start with a big pile of mangoes, cut them up, puree them, dehydrate them, and be left with just, enough to fit into a purse practically. This is just a fantastic way to enjoy mangoes. And if you're a creative cook, try your creativity out on these kinds of products. I have one very creative friend who actually made a dehydrated mango product that tastes like pizza. I know it sounds weird, and you don't think of mango and pizza in the same sentence, really. But what she did, she used a mango base, added a lot of chopped vegetables, and then she put some chopped tomatoes in and Italian spices, and it was really good. So try out your creativity on dehydrating things, or just be a purist and do plain mango. There's no wrong decision here, but it's a great way to preserve things. It's also, if you're generous with your time, it's a great way to make friends and relatives even happier, the ones who live out of state. You can send these roll-ups or other dehydrated products to them, and it's something that's not going to spoil. So try dehydration. It's a great way to preserve a bunch of mangoes in a small space. You don't even need refrigeration, and you get a really delicious and nutritious snack.